This is lesson 1.69, multiplying mixed fractions. In this lesson, you're going to be using that step 1 with the rest of the other steps that we already did in the previous lesson. So you will have to convert any mixed number into improper fractions. So let's go ahead and do that with problem number 1. So we have 4 and 5/3. That's a mixed number, and whenever we have mixed numbers, we always have to mix it up by first multiplying 5 times 4 and then adding. So 5 times 4 is 20, and we add 3 is 23. Write it over the number that you start with, of 5. Then you convert the 2 and 3/5 also to a mixed number, or into an improper fraction, so we have to mix it up. So we start with a 5. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. And we write that all over the number that we started with, 5. It doesn't matter that these have common denominators. Common denominators is only something you do with addition and subtraction. With multiplication, we can cross cancel. So this is multiplication, and we need to see if any numerator and denominator can cross cancel. I have a 23 and a 5, so my factors of 23 are just 1 and 23. There's nothing else that can go into 23. 23 is a prime number. So is the number 5. 5 is a prime number. That means there's nothing you can cross cancel with those two. In the other direction, I have a 5 and a 13. As I said before, 5 is a prime number, and so is 13. So that means in this problem here, there is no cross canceling. So we're done with step 1, we're done with step 2. Step 3, we have to multiply across. So we need to multiply 23 times 13. 23 times 13. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 2 is 6. Then we have to move over to the our tens place. 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 2 is 2. Some of you put in a 0 there as a placeholder. Then add up the two partial products there. 9, 9, and 2. So 299, very big number. All over. This one's a lot easier. 5 times 5 is 25. In the next step, we need to convert any improper fractions to a mixed number. So we have 299 over 25. That is a great big improper fraction. So I'm going to erase to make some room here. When I have an improper fraction, that's because it's top heavy, I need to put the top in the box. And remember what I do with my remainder. It becomes the hat of the fraction. So we need to see how many times does 25 go into 299. Well, I know it goes into 29 at least one time, so I need to multiply. 1 times 25 is 25, and see what my remainder is, 4. That's smaller than my divisor, so I'm good, and I bring down the next number, 49. Then I need to ask myself, how many times can 25 go into 49 without going over? Well, 49 is pretty close to 50, and I know there's two 25s and a 50. So I'm going to try multiplying by 2. 2 times 5 is 10, carry your 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 50. Oh, that's just a little too big, so we need to take it down. It was just an estimate. So I'm going to try 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 25, and then I have to subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 minus 2 is 24. Now my remainder is smaller than my divisor, so that's fine, but I have no other numbers to bring down. So 24 is my true remainder, but I'm going to write my remainder in fraction form. So the remainder becomes the hat of my fraction, or the numerator, and the divisor, the 25, is the denominator, 24 over 25. So I've converted that improper fraction to a mixed number, and then I need to see finally if the fractional part can reduce. 24 over 25. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now that it doesn't, but let's go ahead and prove it real quick for you. 24, if I divide by 1, is 24. If I divide it by 2, it's 12. If I divide it by 3, it's 8. If I divide it by 4, it's 6. And there's no numbers between 4 and 6, so I'm done with all the factors. Factors of 25 are 1 and 25, and 5 and 5. That's it. So the greatest common factor between both is 1. Therefore, 24 over 25 doesn't reduce, and that becomes then your final answer. A lot of work for one problem. I'm going to erase a little bit so we have room for the next problem. Hopefully this next one won't be as bad. Change my pen color so you know where my work is from the first problem to the next problem. So we start over again with our steps. First step, we need to convert any mixed number into an improper fraction. This is actually going to be the first step in all of our operations with fractions. So, whoops, I didn't mean to erase. I need to change that mixed number into an improper fraction. So I multiply 2 times 2 is 4, and add 1 more is 5, 5 over 2, times, and change the next mixed number into an improper fraction. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 more, be 13, 14, 15, all over the original 4. So can I cross cancel here? 5 over 4. There's no number I can divide 5 and 4 by evenly to reduce it, so that doesn't reduce. And same with 2 and 15. It doesn't reduce. Darn. So we can't cross cancel, and now we need to multiply across. 5 times 15, well, 15 times 5 is 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 more, 75. All over. 2 times 4 is 8. So I've multiplied across both my numerator and my denominator, unlike addition and subtraction. And then I need to convert this improper fraction into a mixed number, so I need to divide again. So I put the top number in the box. The closest number, 8, goes into 75. Let's see. Well, I know 9 times 8 is 72. And we can't go any higher than a single digit, so that's as high as we can possibly get. Subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3. And we have no other numbers to bring down, so that becomes the hat of my fraction of the numerator. And the divisor is 8. So 9 and 3/8. 3 is a prime number, and because 3 can't go into 8, it doesn't reduce any further. So that's your final answer, 9 and 3/8. I was hoping to come across one that we get to cross cancel a little bit to make these problems a little bit easier. Do one more with you, and then you guys can do the rest of it on your own. So we'll start from the beginning. We convert that mixed number into an improper fraction, so we multiply and then add. 10 times 3 is 30, plus 7 more is 37, all over 10. And then we change the second one to a mixed number, or to an improper fraction, I'm sorry. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. 14 over 3. Oh good, it looks like we do have one that can cross cancel. I know 37 and 3 won't be able to cross cancel because 3 is a prime number. It is a great idea to learn your prime numbers those list of numbers that can only be divisible by themselves, and 1. So let's look at the 10 and the 14. I know that those can cross cancel. So let's find out what can they cancel to. Well, we have 10 and 14. Factors of 10 are 1 and 10, 2 and 5, and that's it. The factors of 14 are 1 and 14, 2 and 7, and that's it. So the greatest common factor is 2. That means they reduce to 5 over 7. So the 10 you cross out and write a 5. The 14 you can cross out and make it a 7. That'll make it a little bit easier when you're multiplying across, a little bit smaller numbers. And we still have to take 37 times 7. That's still a pretty good multiplication problem there. 37 times 7, let me find a place to do that. Erase some work here. Please do your work on a separate sheet of paper. There is not enough room on this page to do it all on this. 37 times 7, well, 7 times 7 is 49. Carry your 4. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 4 more is 25. So still a big number. 259. All over. Now this part we can do in our head. 5 times 3 is 15. 259 over 15, you do need to change that into, so we've done this, done that, converted to, no, we haven't converted to a mixed number yet. That's what we need to do next. It's an improper fraction. We need to change it to a mixed number. So we take that top number and put it in the box. 259 divided by 15. 15 can go into 25 one time. So we subtract 5 minus 5 is 0, 2 minus 1 is 10. That's a good remainder because it's smaller than our divisor. Then you have to bring down the next digit, the 9. 15 can go into 109 about how many times? It's less than 20, so I know it's going to be more than 5 times because I know there's 5 20s in 100. I'm going to go with 7, just go a little bit higher. 7 times 5 is 35, carry your 3. 7 times 5, or 7 times 1 is 7 plus 3 more is 10. Oh, wow, I did a great guess the first time. If you didn't, if you tried 6, you might just have to increase it 1, it's okay. 9 minus 5 is 4, which is smaller than 15, so that's good. And then you take your remainder and becomes the head of the fraction, 4 over 15. I do not know any number that can divide 4 and 15 evenly. If you need me to write out the factors of 4, 1 and 4, and 2 and 2. And I know I can't divide 15 by 2 or by 4, so that means it doesn't reduce. That has to be our final answer. 17 and 4/15. Please take your time on these. Looks like you're going to have some pretty big multiplication and division problems. If you need additional help on these, ask your instructor. And that, good luck on the rest of these, and make sure you self-check and correct when you're done.